So one of the things that differentiates death metal from other styles of music is the drumming. We've got double bass, we've got blast beats, and then just the intensity of it all is very different than other styles of music, especially ones that are not extreme metal. And so today we're going to take a deep dive discussion into drumming. And I've had one of these already. If you haven't, make sure you go back and check out that video that includes current and former drummers of Gorgasm, Stabbing, and Necessary Death. But today we have a different lineup for you of three, some might say legendary drummers spanning three different generations to get a vibe for how things have changed over time too. So I'm very excited. Let's get to it. So I have three incredible drummers with us today that span some different generations and a number of legendary bands and recordings. So with us today is Alex Marquez. Let me know if I'm butchering anybody's name, by the way. But he's drummer. He was the drummer in thrash legend Solstice, starting all the way back in 1990. The drummer in Malevolent Creation from 92 to 94. After that, he was in Demolition Hammer and tons of other great bands. But I also have to mention one of my favorite drum performances ever, which was you're playing on the 1993 album Embalmed Existence by Resurrection.
Dude,
and then
so many people love that. I'm honored, man. That's awesome.
It's a good one. So Steve, is it Shalaty? Or Shalaty? Who goes back with death metal band Odious Sanction all the way back to 1993 and has been handling drums with Immolation since 2003, starting with their, I think is an underrated album, Harnessing Ruin. And then Brennan Shackelford, is all that correct too? Yeah. So far good with the names. So we've you previously played in Cesspool of Corruption. Cesspool of Corruption. You've been in Reviled since 2017, and now you've taken up the mantle of Brutal Death Legends, Brodequin, and also Liturgy. So
yeah.
all big shoes to fill here, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's start with just how you all ended up doing this. Not only how did you get into drums, but how did you get into playing like extreme metal drums? Because that might not be the first most intuitive choice for anybody getting into that instrument.
Mine was an accident, dude. I was playing in a thrash band, and I just happened to be able to be faster than everyone at that moment in our scene. And that was it. And then Solstice, I heard Napalm, man, and that was the end of everything, dude. I wanted a blast. So if it were up to me, that first Solstice record would have been one big blast. Luckily, it wasn't. but yeah, then I met Rob Barrett. That was the end of it, man.
Yeah.
That was the end. Then when we joined Malevolent, it just set my career over the top at that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of similar for me, you know what I mean? I was playing a lot of thrash and listened to a lot of thrash and just wanted to go faster and faster. And you just start seeking it out, you know, and you start looking for those faster guys. Who's doing what? Oh my God, did you hear this? Listen to this, you know what I mean? And it always pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. So yeah, death metal was the ticket at the time, man. A lot of drummers just doing stuff I'd never heard before, you know, so super exciting. Yeah.
So my story is a little funny. I got into drums and really music in general through Rock Band and the Guitar Hero games and stuff. So they had some songs with blast beats on Rock Band as downloadable songs. So it was like the Mayhem 2009 downloadable pack. It had Hammer Smash Face, What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse, Embedded. So I'm like, yeah, some blasting stuff on there. So it made me want to do that on the real kit once I got start taking lessons and everything.
Dude, blasting is the shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's a workout. It's a workout.
Yeah.
How would you guys describe your own style? So some of you definitely stand out from other extreme metal drummers. How would you describe your style of playing?
For me, I got a lot into hardcore, into the Cro-Mags and into Leeway, all that stuff. There's a lot of hardcore influence. And then Gene Hoglan, of course, like everyone. Tommy Aldridge is the god of gods to me. That dude, there's nobody better. There'll never be anybody better. He is the law. But Hoglan, a huge influence on me was Sean Reiner. Huge. He was not only an influence, but he was a good friend of mine. We practiced next door to each other before any albums were done by either band, just demos.
Awesome.
So I learned from I got to learn from the best. You
That's great, man.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, same
I-
here.
Lombardo, of course.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was just like there was no YouTube, there was no video lessons, shit like that. So you had to go to the shows and either catch a glimpse of what was going on or just kind of figure it out on your own and just put the hours in and stuff like that. And so, you know, we naturally you're copping moves from all these guys like Alex and all the first round of death metal drummers that came out, you know what I mean, and just like copping their style and trying to figure it out for yourself. So that kind of stuff just leaves itself indelibly on you, you know what I mean? So I do stuff all the time and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of like Alex. Oh, that sounds like Craig's Miles. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? That builds your style. Obviously, once you get, you know, enough technique down, you know, you start to create your own stuff, but that sort of stuff always sneaks in there, you know what I mean? That's what builds your style. You can tell sometimes you can tell just by listening to a drummer what drummers he listens to, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. To Alex's point, Sean Reinert is easily my favorite drummer of all time, and that's super fucking cool. You guys were tight. So
man.
he's a big influence on my playing. All the other guys that played with Death too. I mean, you know, Richard Christie, Gene Hoglan, of course. I'd say some of my other influences for some of the faster stuff would be Chad and John, the drummers before me, and Brodequin really pushed me to try to get to that next level. Before that, probably Flo from Cryptopsy, Mike Smith, Dave Koros, you know, great drummers.
Wow. Koros and God.
Yeah.
we have a unique club, man. We all learn from each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Because it's a friendship, dude. It's not like, oh, I'm that. Maybe Pete at the beginning sounded well, but I ended up learning a lot from Pete too, actually.
we all,
Me and him are really cool. He was kind of a thing when I first met him years ago, but I went away. He's super cool, man. He rolls.
Yep.
So, speaking of the drummers before you, so all three of you have entered into some major established bands and kind of had some large shoes to fill. Alex, you followed Mark Simpson in Malevolent Creation. Steve followed Alex Hernandez. And Brennan followed, as you mentioned, Chad and John. And so what was that experience like? Was that intimidating? And what do you try to do when you get into that position? Are you just trying to replicate their style, trying to bring in your own? What's the balance there?
With me, it was fairly easy because I was a huge Malevolent fan. So, like, I joined the band on a Sunday and we played on Thursday. Because I knew that whole album. I was hanging with them and everything since the demos, you know what I mean? So I knew, and Mark, I love Mark's drumming, and me and Mark are good friends. So it was really easy. And he quit. It wasn't like they fired him for me. He quit, and I ended up joining. And it was pretty easy. You know, and Phil, he was awesome, man. He was a riff machine at that point in his career, man. And yeah, it was awesome. It was fairly easy for me. The other albums, the Demolition Hammer was so grooved. It was super easy. So it was the Resurrection. There's certain songs that were on the demo that I followed. Whatever imprint was on there, just a little faster. But a lot of it, yeah, just adapting my style into the band would be the way to do it for me.
Yeah, for me, the dudes that I followed, both of them were like very unique and just powerhouse drummers. So for me, it was super important just to get that feel down. But I had already spent, hundreds of hours practicing Dawn of Possession and the earlier Immolation albums. So when they asked me to do it, I was pretty confident. I was like, this isn't going to be a big deal. You know what I mean? But I want to do that first. Like, to me, that was important. And those drummers are super important to the style of that band. So I was like, I gotta nail or get that feel like what they're doing, you know what I mean, first. Because, a lot of the recordings are older and there's like a lot of push and pull with the tempo and stuff like that.
Definitely.
You don't do it like that. So that was first thing for me. And then after that, you know what I mean, when you start writing your own stuff, it's like, you can add a little injection of this or that, but I'm always geared for that. Whenever I'm writing drum parts for Immolation, I'm always thinking about the guys that came before me. Always.
Yeah, we did the same thing with Simpson. You had to, man. You had to.
Exactly.
Sorry.
No, that's it, man.
Yeah, I share the exact same sentiment as you, Steve. Like, Chad and John obviously paved the way for the way Brodequin drums are supposed to be played, and then I just try to tastefully put in like a little bit of other influences here and there, like the Reinhardt stuff, and doing some like cool rudiment kind of licks here and there for fills, but got to maintain that hyper blast feel and the aggression and power. So
those guys were crazy, dude. I don't remember having to play that.
Unreal.
It's insane. That shit's insane.
Yeah. Kudos, man.
I can't fathom half of the shit that everybody does now. The speed of shit is.
Yeah,
I don't even bother. I don't bother, dude. I'm like, nah. Forget that. That's for them young folk like him. Too old for that. Wait a minute, Steve. Didn't you play in Ringworm?
Yeah, for a little bit.
I remember. I thought so.
Did a little hardcore. Some friends
you got
Cleveland. Yeah.
So you guys have touched on your role in some of the songwriting, maybe already hearing some of the stuff and then bringing it in. But is that typically how you've worked in bands? Are songs complete and then you add your part? Or are you involved in the arrangements? Or are you even maybe contributing to some of the songwriting? Or are you have you ever been in a band where you even start drums first and then they're writing to what you've put down?
Well, you record, I mean, at least for me, you record your drums first, obviously, with the scratching. But for Retribution, me and Rob wrote a bunch. Actually wrote riffs. And yes, you do keep, like Mark Simpson, I kept some fills and that malevolent backbeat, which the snares on the whole time. We kept that going. Like, he wanted to get rid of the fill, and I was like, no, man, you got to that part of the band. Because Simpson was always on that. He really wouldn't play the other way around. Yeah. And so we kept it going, and then we just added a bunch of blasts. Our mentality was, we got to make Rain and Blood sound crazy. Literally, that was the mentality. Yeah. That was
but you guys would get in the spot. You and Rob would get in the rehearsal room and just like hash it out, right?
By the time we joined Malevolent, that whole Solstice record was written.
That's awesome.
Joining Malevolent that's what it sounds like. Slaughter of Innocence. You could hear Solstice. Whatever you
totally. Yeah, that's my preferred method too. Like with Odious Sanction, we would just sit in the room and work it out. You know what I mean? Like, he'd feed me a riff. Okay, that's cool. Where do you want to go from there? If I had an idea, throw it. He'd throw it. Whatever. And you'd kind of cook. You're just cooking it up. Obviously, with Immo, it's totally different because we're so far away from each other. So we have to do it digitally and stuff like that. So I've adapted to that. That's totally cool. I enjoy getting something, that's just the guitar and the click and writing whatever happens to pop into my head. Like I said before, though, thinking about my predecessors and what do you think would sound best here? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, at this point with Brodequin, it is like that. For the most part, Mike will just send me stuff that's guitar and click. And sometimes he'll program drums just to have something to play to himself. And then I'll, keep parts that I like from that and then kind of do my own thing on the other stuff. That's how Harbinger was. But the last time that I really did writing collaboratively with a guitarist was in Reviled. We wrote all that stuff basically in the room together. Whether it was when I was behind the kit or sometimes I would just go over to his place and we would just work on stuff in Guitar Pro and like say, okay, we'll figure out the drums later, but the riffs had to be sick first. So, yeah. And the new Brodequin stuff, though, I'm collabing with Mike on quite a bit more. In fact, I wrote a whole song by myself and just sent it to him, and he was like, let's add this part in the middle, but that's about it. So I'm really stoked about that.
So you were playing guitar when you were writing the Reviled stuff, too?
Some of it, yeah. I have riffs on the still forthcoming album. I wrote a pretty solid handful of riffs on it, actually. So I picked up guitar in like 2018, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah, what I would do is just hum. Like, I'd come up with shit in my head and go. Luckily, I was blessed to have Barrett, who I could hum whatever the fuck I want and he'd figure it out.
Yeah, you got to have a translator.
So that's what I mean. I play this, so that's why you hear on that Solstice a lot of it's picking oriented, all the choppy shit and all that, dude.
Yeah, rhythmic.
A lot of it was hummed by me to him, basically, and I'm just gonna follow whatever I hum and.
Yeah.
Tight as hell. It makes everything sound super tight.
Yeah, that's the way I got to do it too, because I don't play a note of guitar.
Me neither, dude. I can play Smoke on the Water. That's about
it.
So you guys like humming a riff is one thing, but what about the inverse of that? Do you have many experiences of a guitarist being like, this is what I want the drums to do, or maybe it's even like a program thing and it's just something impossible, or do you run into that a lot?
Yeah.
what made it easy for me was I was getting this after that Malevolent record. When I would go do a record, they'd be like, okay, but I have this idea, but make it sound like you. And I'm like, okay. So it made it easier for me.
Yeah,
Nobody ever told me this is what we want, this is what it is. They're like, oh, but make sure you throw them fills in there and do this. Okay, that's it. So it was easier for me, to be honest with you. It was easy.
Yeah, thankfully my guitarists I think they know better than to send me stuff that I can't play. So, but a lot of the time,
I don't know if
never
there's much
actually
of
wrote
that.
drums first.
You're fucking sick. I don't know if there's much you can't play. But
Yeah, right.
Thank you, man. But yeah, I've never written drums first, ever, actually.
Mm-mm.
no, I mean, right? Nah, never. It's always the risk.
I've gotten some stuff like after a couple albums with Immo, Bob, like he's the main writer. He became really familiar with what I was capable of, where my good points and my bad points were. You know what I mean? So he would write grooves and stuff that would kind of cater to that. And a couple times I caught him writing, some parts where the drummer had three hands, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you hear that cymbal and that cymbal and that cymbal are all hitting at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm just like, that's not going to be, I can't do that.
Yeah. They get carried away, those guitar players.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure. It's easy.
Follow-up question for Alex. So the Scott Burns book, I think, mentioned that you were almost like the go-to guy if Morrisound needed a drummer on something. Is that right?
Let me give you the story. The best one is the one from the Resurrection album. Not only that, but the Sonar kit that I had was all mahogany, I think, that one, and it sounded amazing for some fucking reason. That's the one on Retribution, Solstice.
That was a Sonar kit?
That was a Sonar 4000, I think, 2001. It was.
Wow.
I'll Sonar that red one. I'll send you guys pictures. I have pictures.
Sick.
Yeah, it was amazing. So what happened with the Resurrection is, remember, there was no cell phones back then or nothing. So he called me and he goes, hey, my kid was at Morrisound and would live there. That's how much it was that I was there. So he goes, can I use the kid? I'll get you some money I'll rent it from you. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I had to take a couple things up. So I drove up, dropped it off, and drove back to Miami. When I got to my house, he left me a message. He goes, I need you to come back. This guy playing the album fucking blows.
Oh, no.
Can you do the album? So I literally slept and went back in the morning. We rehearsed for 4 days and cut the record in a day.
Wow.
That one was a lot. That one took like 8 hours. The Malevolent took 6 hours, and the Solstice was ridiculous. It took me 2.5 hours.
That's amazing.
What?
But we had been practicing for 2 years, 7 days a week. That thing was embedded in my head.
Yeah, of course. But the Resurrection was fresh, right? I mean, you were just
we practiced 4 days. 4 days.
Wow, dude.
And the Disincarnate demo, we didn't even practice.
What?
I heard the songs and figured it out. There's only 3 songs, but we figured it out in the studio. It was cool.
That's crazy.
Kudos on that, dude. Amazing.
No, and then working with Scott, dude. Come on, that dude's so easy, man.
Yeah.
I wish everybody would get to work with Scott at least once.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to work anywhere else. Wouldn't want to. Even though Steve that did the Time Bomb was pretty killer too.
Yeah.
I got lucky,
That had to be a fun album because it was like, you're not going to worry about all the blasting and all that shit. Kind of take it easy and groove it.
As a matter of fact, the fast, whatever's fast on that album was because of me, because they didn't want anything. That wasn't even that band was supposed to be called Blowtorch, and Century Media forced them to use the Demolition Hammer name.
Really?
That's what happened.
Okay.
So that's why I get slack. Everybody, I get blamed for that album. Oh, he fucked up Demolition Hammer. He changed them. I go, I didn't even write one riff on that album.
Right, yeah.
They would mail me tapes of drum machines, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of shit for Harnessing Ruin, too, because for whatever reason, Bob kind of changed what he was doing on that album. Like, Unholy Cult was kind of a very different approach than Harnessing. And, I remember when we were writing it and shit, I was like, oh, man, he chose this album to change things on. Like,
I'm trying to follow.
People don't understand, but
trying to follow Vinny Days, and that dude's ridiculous. Because that dude's doubles everywhere at all times. Playing some of that shit, like what's that Carnivorous Obsession is a fucking nightmare, dude. Playing it live, we did it, but it was hard.
Yeah. Wow.
So let's talk a little bit more about playing live. So first I want to ask about, so when you're playing live, you often maybe have played on a kit that is not your own, like a Backline kit or something. I was wondering if you guys have any, horror stories about playing on a Backline kit that you'd like to share, or just some really awful.
Let Brennan go first because we kind of cut him off the last round.
Oh man, well, thankfully I've never really had like a true nightmare experience with a Backline kit. The one that I played at Manchester for Damnation Festival, the first tom was tuned way too high. Like I remember hitting it during sound check, and I made a face like, "Oh, what is this?" You know. And Mike saw it and was like, "Nah, that's not it." So they somehow, our sound guy EQ'd it to where it didn't sound too bad in front of house. But yeah, I've never really had like a super nightmare kit. Thank goodness for festivals. Like I know some drummers are super picky and they need everything arranged in exact same way. You know, I try to be not too picky. That way I can just set up my cymbals and my triggers and whatever and just go.
Yeah.
I'm anal about that shit. Go ahead, Steve.
No, go ahead, please.
I'm anal about that, so it's kind of hard. One time we did a festival, I think it was in Oakland, and they had everything was triggered, and I started using trigger way late in the game, you know. And dude, they had the fucking kick drums so stuffed that you couldn't even really hear it. I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna play with triggers. There was nothing to do. It was a festival, you know. And then the last time we went to Europe, the dude's like, don't bring anything. I brought my snare, my pedals. And when I got there, the cymbals were a nightmare.
Oh.
So I played the first show with horrendous cymbals. By the second show, some dude, thank you, because I can't remember guy's name. He brought me his whole set of cymbals. And he goes, take them and I'll pick them up at the last show.
Wow.
So we did that. And then when we got to Berlin, Lyle from fucking Defeated Sanity brought me his ride and another pair because I use XS and I didn't have them. Nice. He brought me XS and picked them up and then he helped me out too.
Wow.
But my bro, I love Lyle, dude. Lyle rules.
What a commitment, man. Yeah, he's the best.
There's no other scene like metal, or especially extreme metal. Everybody helps each other.
Yeah. Dude, I've got probably 100 stories about lemony kits and fail kits, but the worst was we played down in Southeast Asia for the first time, and we went to Davao, Philippines, and we got to the club, and the club was already packed. Like all the dudes everybody was in there waiting, you know. And I walked up, and there was literally like a pile of stuff on the stage of drum equipment. Nothing matched, nothing like. The toms didn't go on the tom holders, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And I was like,
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, you know, I was tired, I was hungry, and it was hot as hell, and I was just like, I don't even know where to start with this, you know what I mean? And I'm just sitting there next to Bob. And I turned around and I looked, and the crowd was just like looking at me, like, what's he gonna do with all this stuff? You know what I mean? It's almost an extra challenge. So Bob went and talked to the stage guy. He got two guys. They came and they were just like super cool. They were like, just tell us what you need. And I was like, I need to get this tom here somehow. Like, I don't know how, but we need to do it. And we had twine wrapped around from drum to stand and from drum to drum, that kind of shit. Like you would make a raft. We did that, man. And after I finished, it took like 25 minutes. And after I was finished, you know, I was like, this is going to work. I looked out and the crowd was like super appreciative that I put in the time and tried to get the kit to actually work so we could have a show and stuff like that. So it was cool. Great. You know what I mean? And all the frustration builds up the energy. So the show was like real high energy, and I was just kind of bashing. Obviously, nothing was like perfect, pristine, but you know what I mean? It's like at that point, it's the spirit more. You know what I mean?
Was it just you guys on that show, or?
Yes, as far yeah, I believe so, because we went in, set up, and bam, played. So
have you? I know, I'm sure Steve has. Brennan, have you done Central America or South America yet?
Not yet. We have.
You got to be careful.
Possibly. Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, we got something's in the talks. We'll see.
You got to be careful there. I've had to match. Oh, yeah. I even had a 20 and a 22 kick at one point. At one show.
Man, mismatched. Yeah, dude.
So it's like, don't even mic them. Just use the triggers. I'm fucked.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've stacked kick drums up on bricks and stuff like that before. Yeah, Brazil and all over the place. But you know,
like if you play in Lima, Peru is probably the best place to play there. Dude, everything's like top of the line.
Yeah,
We did a festival there, and I blew my mind.
Yeah.
They look like whackers. That's from Packers.
Yeah, we played Santiago, Chile one time, and one of
Very
the
good.
brought out his drum set for me to use. Matter of fact, he provided for me the night before so I could practice on it because we had like.
You remember guy's name? Was he in a band called Homicide?
No, he was in a band called Una Striking Colton or something like that. It's like a Cthulhu, like a Lovecraftian type band, but good ass bands. But you know, he like brought me his kit to use, and I got to rehearse. We had like a 24 song set, something ridiculous.
Holy shit.
An hour and a half. So I got to play through all the songs on his kit the night before, and then he provided the day of the show, and it was great. It was an old Tom.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Oh, I played one.
Yeah, you never know, man. Like festivals are getting better these days, especially
Yeah,
you understand more. A lot of times you have a designated drum set. You get to set it up ahead of time and roll it out. The rolling risers.
Yeah, that is the best thing ever.
Many festivals where you got to build it on the fly. You don't know what it is ahead of time. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's
rolling risers are the best thing ever.
Best. Yeah.
How much rougher is it to play a very long set like that for you, especially death metal? It's so high intensity.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. You have to train for it. You know, I mean, at least I do. You know, I just like if I know we're gonna go and play like Immolation's big thing is to go 1 song, 2 song, 3 song, then take a break. You know what I mean? They like blam, and they like to go through the whole set like that. So if I'm at home playing, practicing, and taking a break after every song and stuff like that, and then I get out there in the heat, I'm not going to be able to do the big. You know, so to practice that way before you go out there. You know.
Definitely.
So when you say a 24 song set, how long time wise is that?
It was. I think it came out to be like an hour and 24 minutes or something like that.
Okay.
The whole thing's up on YouTube. It's like in 3 parts or whatever. I put it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never played that many songs.
That's the longest one I've ever played. I've never played.
That's crazy, Steve.
Yeah,
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and the Immo guys, they like to stack it. So like when we go out on a tour, they like to have a lot of options in case they want to change the set. It's not like we're going to play the same 8 songs and that's all I got to practice. You know, like if we're doing 8-song sets, I still got to practice, 20 songs.
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah.
I'm ready in case we want to switch them out or, do alternate set lists and stuff like that. So
that's crazy. That's a lot of songs, man. Holy shit. I got to check that video out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a good show too, man. Like, I don't know how, but we pulled it off. It was cool.
You knew your shit, brother. You knew your shit.
It was nuts. Yeah.
I'm curious because the Immolation back catalog is so huge. Like, how do you know which songs to prepare?
They tell me. We pick it up.
Okay.
And I'm always on their I'm always on their shit too. Like for this trip coming up, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't too long after we got back from the trip before that where I was like, and even on the trip before that, I was like, let's start thinking, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know so I can get started. You guys practice however much you want, but for me, I like to be working on that stuff, know what I'm getting into ahead of time. So and because the span of time is so long and there's 3 different drummers involved in this material, it's different. Like, so for me to play a song that Alex played is a lot different than maybe something that Craig played, and the old stuff is a lot of super fast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Which is totally different than doing the blasting and double bass, and a lot of the modern stuff is. So you have to be ready.
Craig's another monster, dude.
Dude, yeah.
I love Craig, dude. He's awesome.
Yeah, dude, totally, man.
So, Alex and Brennan, are those your experiences with live sets at all, or is it largely you're going to practice all the songs you're playing, and those are the only songs you'll be practicing, or do you have some that you typically rotate out? Or
with Solstice, the last couple of tours we did, it was easier. We could play whatever we want. We actually played everything from. It's not fucking a bunch of albums like Steve, or with Malevolent, it was just the 2 albums and some demo stuff. And I knew it all, so for me, it was pick it and we can play it, But I was a fan, like I said. But what Steve did, I couldn't imagine, dude. That's a lot of fucking songs, man. And from 2 different drummers before him, or 3 or whatever. 2.
Yeah, it's
I'm kind of like Steve.
Yeah, you're fun.
Like I try and make sure I know what the set list is way in advance. If anything, I'm the one who makes the set list a lot of the time.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
like
that's cool. That's cool.
Dude, man, it was such a bummer because we played a show in LA and we played a show in Stuttgart, Germany in April, a few weeks apart. the show in LA was sick, but I arranged the set list with like 3 burner songs right back to back like an idiot. And then for the Stuttgart show, I was like, I got to spread these out a little bit. So I don't know why I thought, for drinking into Mazzatella was a good idea, but it was brutal. I got burned out like halfway through the set on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to take that stuff into consideration for sure.
Yeah, when you make the set list, you definitely got to remember all that shit.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I can always tell any drummer that asks me, know your limitations, buddy. Know what you can do and don't make yourself out to look like an idiot.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about recording drums now and the studio process. And so what to you is the ideal drum mix? Should it be more raw? Should it be more polished? Where should different parts of the drum set sit in the mix? Do you like stuff panned? Do you like it centered? What should drums sound like?
Pan your toms and you pan them backwards. Obviously, everybody knows that. It's hard to to do it, especially in the beginning when we were doing stuff. So that's why on the Solstice album, the kicks are fucking through the roof. It's loud. It's too loud. And on the Malevolent, on the Retribution, it's not as bad. It's not as loud. But because it sucks when you fucking kill yourself and then you can't hear half the shit you do. So for me, the better it sounds, the better it is. And maybe some raw, like Retribution's raw, I would say, in the Solstice. But it's so clean, you can still hear everything. And the Resurrection, those toms.
Super clean. Goddamn, dude. Yeah.
Those toms, I don't know about that kit. That kit was magic, dude.
Yeah, I can hear the wood, dude, when I hear
it. Dude, and even the snare came with the kit.
That's amazing. That wasn't your snare?
Yeah, no, it came with the kit. That kit was mine. That kit was mine.
Okay.
But I didn't go buy a
snare. I recognize your snare on different recordings. I'm like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people a lot of that, and I think we had this conversation. It's your hand, the way you hit, man. The way I hit that. I rim shot absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So I play my snare completely flat, right?
Yep.
Oh,
So it's the way you attack too. People think that I'm hitting from far. It's like literally one movement right there, dude. It's not
like right there.
Yeah.
Very
it's just all rim shot.
Very
rim shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that snare was the best. I had a Killer Pearl free floating, and that thing sounded better than it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I had a Pro Utility snare that was fucking awesome too. That thing, I still have it. It's not. It's in storage, but that thing sounds great. So it was 6.5. I mean, 14 by 10 by 18 by 8.5.
Yeah. Yo, I chase that snare sound all the time, dude. Like,
everybody loves that. And it's tight. I just really tightened up.
Beautiful.
And no, please don't fucking. And now everybody wants to sound replace your snare, and I want to kill them. You know what I mean? If you got to go sell these snare, you're going to screw it up. I had it done on I did an album for a band called Thrasher Die, and the dude replaced my snare, and I can't stand it. He said my snare was too high. The dude didn't like high snares.
Yeah. I've heard some replace snares sound good, but it's mostly on stuff that's wide open. You know what I mean?
You notice how all of it's
fast on it. It's just like it can get splatty and
all of it. Like, and no knock, because Andy Sneap is fucking amazing, but all his drum sounds are exactly the same. There's no like, oh, I know who that is. Like Alex Van Halen, for instance, and that's an extreme because he had the same. That was him, nobody else. But you don't hear that anymore. Everybody sounds like everybody else.
Yeah. For me, in death metal drum mixes, like I gotta hear what's going on with the cymbals. Like not only for myself, but like most guys, like in death metal, there's a lot going on with the cymbal, and especially if it's like a seriously double bass oriented guy, because you lose your hi-hat, so you don't have to accent and accentuate stuff and dynamics and stuff like that. So it's all talking on the cymbals, you know what I mean? And if I hear a mix where I can't hear what's going on with the cymbals, it kills me. There's been times with Immolation where it's just like, yeah, okay, I hear the mix and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, okay, I can hear everything. And then after the mastering and stuff like that, it's like, God damn it, like I did all these cool patterns, you can't even hear what I might as well just ride the hi-hat the whole time. So for me, that's most important. Like that, and like a lot of people will blow the kick drums to the roof. That'll start to annoy me too. You know what I mean? Like, kick drums is great. I love double bass, but for a general audience, if your whole album is just kick drums that are through the roof, it's hard to listen to. It's hard to write.
What kills me is when you hear that kick with no bottom. It's all like literally a typewriter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't love the clicky drums. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I saw a band. I think the band was called Organectomy.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
super fast, super, but the kicks suck. Dude. They suck.
Yeah. Oh, live.
Yeah,
Are you
live.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and some bottom and that's what happens a lot with triggers. I saw defeat. I love that band, Giant Fetus. I saw their drummer Travis is his name, I think.
Right.
Trey. Okay, yeah, his things are too clicky too, man. Way too clicky.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
amazing. That dude's insane.
Totally awesome. Great guy too. But yeah, so I mean, for me, that's what I try to avoid. I don't want too much bass drum, and I want to hear what's going on with the cymbals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to your point, Steve, like a lot of productions now, the overheads are lower in the mix. Like the cymbals just get kind of drowned out because it's just like a modern production choice, unfortunately. Same with the sample replacement. I like a little bit of reinforcement on snare, but nothing on toms. Like the Brodequin album has like 5% reinforcement on the snare. That was just a choice Josh made, and I was like, you know what, it sounds good, dude. Like it's almost entirely my snare sound though.
Yeah,
but that's nothing. That's very little. But they like almost especially for me, man. I use a lot of ghost strokes and shit like that.
Right.
And when they sound replaced, that's all bye bye. It doesn't exist.
No, that shit's gone by the time you. Yeah.
Or it sounds ridiculous. Like I did one of the Odious Sanction albums I did like a million ghost notes in there, and on a regular snare it sounds cool, but when it triggers it sounds like boop 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 boop. Stop it.
So with the snare too, like how do you guys feel about ping? Some bands really go hard into the ping. How do you feel about that choice for the snare tone sound?
I'm pretty opinionated on that. People seem to think that like Brodequin should have that sound, but I don't agree. I think it needs to be that like cryptopsy, like tight, high pitched, yes, but like dry. You know, it has to have that crack to it and just get out of the way. Like I don't want the ring. I don't want that fucking overtone. You know, that shit can get old. You know, real quick. That'll tire your ears out. So
exactly, yeah, I agree 100% with that. I like a little ring in there. I want it to sound like a snare.
Yeah.
You know I mean? But it depends on the project, you know what I mean? So like I did the drums for the new Immolation in the same studio with the same guys. I'm doing the new Odious Sanction, but the snares sound totally different because, you know, he's EQing them differently for Odious than he is for Immolation. And for Odious, the ring works a little bit better.
Yeah.
For Immolation, you don't really want that. And one thing before I forget, wanted to mention, I just toured with Deicide, and Steve Asham has a mic on every cymbal.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow.
Every china, he's got 4 chinas. He's got a mic on each one, dude. And I saw that, and I was like, "Wow, that's awesome!" And I looked at my sound man, and my sound was like, and I'm like, "That's crazy," you know.
You usually get the overheads and maybe a ride mic, and that's it.
Dude, I know.
Lucky.
One on every one. And for a drummer like him that speaks so much with those cymbals and the cymbals,
he does.
Constantly moving, and it sounded great every night. And I was just like, wow, I'm going to have to start working on my sound.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
your sound man looked at you and went, please don't.
Yeah, he was like, don't think about that shit.
Yeah. Like 90% of what I do is cymbal stuff anyway. So I definitely like those to be a little bit more forward in the mix.
Yeah. Even if you have to have just a room mic or something there to pull from if you need more or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
But like the piggy snares, I just saw it. There was the Defeated Sanity, Organectomy, 2 of the band. And they all the same. It does drive me crazy. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Miles is a little tighter, like drier, rather. Drier. The other bands, everything was a giant pig. For me, and you know what I don't do? I don't use the snare completely tight. I let it ring a little so you get that sizzle. So it helps you with ghost notes. It helps so much.
Oh yeah,
with the ghost notes, totally.
Yeah, totally helps. It even helps your.
How meticulous are you guys about tuning the snare, the toms, and stuff?
Very. Extra Scott Burns. Very.
Yeah, he's a pro. I've only had one studio experience ever where I had someone else like come in and do the tuning. Like usually, you know, I get in there and they're assuming that I have everything where it needs to be. Sometimes I've had to adjust it, you know what I mean? Obviously you want to, you know, make sure it's right the day of, but I got a new drum kit, a brand new drum kit for Majesty and Decay. And because I was fighting against the sound replacement. I was like, I want a new kit. It's going to sound
Good for
great.
you.
It's all
Fuck yeah.
drums, you know what I mean? And in that case, I brought in a guy because they were big size drums, bigger than what I was used to, and so I had the engineer bring in a friend of his or whatever to see how low we could go with those drums.
Oh yeah.
Constantly chasing Craig Smolowski, who also played on a stick Stonor kit, and his drums sounded like caves. You know what I mean? So I was like, I want to try to go for that. So I had him come in and help me get them as low as I possibly could. You know what I mean?
You know what? I learned this from, you know who taught me is Gus Rios. He's like, dude, try this. You're going to hate it when you hear him. You're going to hate it when you hear him, but wait till you hear him recorded. We tuned my drums really fucking low. Like literally the floor tom was like, literally sounded like
dead
shit. It sounded like ass.
Yeah.
And then he put mics on this thing and we listened back and it was sounded like cannon, like I was in a war, man. It was awesome.
Yep. It's harder to play because they don't give back, but the sound, I love the sound, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to play because
Roddy is really big on that. Derek Roddy loves the finger tight tom heads.
Yeah.
Which I mean, they do sound good recorded. Like you're saying, I prefer a little bit of interval. I kind of like it to almost sound like a triad between my toms. Like I have like a 10-inch, 12-inch, 16-inch. So I kind of like it being like ding, ding, dong, you know, like a little
even space,
kind of melodic. My snare I definitely have pretty tight, pretty high pitched, but I also use like heads that have like the HD dry head or whatever, Evans head, that has a little bit of damping on the edge to where it's not going to ring so much. It's not going to have that ping sound. Thankfully, I mean, I can get my sound on almost any snare though. Like Backline kits, I don't even bring my snare anymore. I just do my thing, try and make it sound, you know. Yeah.
I'll lose my mind if I do that, man. I need to have my snare.
Yeah.
And pedals. You gotta have your pedals, dude.
I do bring those. Yes. Gotta have those.
Are there certain pedals you guys swear by, or?
Dude, you're gonna. I'm old, man. I'm a Camco, man. I still love them.
Yeah.
Still love them to this day. Yeah, I know Hoagland still uses them.
Yeah.
He's crazy with all the shit he can use, but he's still using them. Those things are like $70 each.
Yeah.
They don't even cost anything.
Yeah, he finally switched. Like he finally started using those eliminator pedals, which is what I use. I'm thinking of getting those new Demon XR Pearl pedals though. They're pretty fast.
Chain or drive?
I use the strap drive eliminators.
Wow, that's pretty badass, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's pretty bad. The direct drive doesn't work for me, man. I gotta figure. I don't know why. It's gotta be chain.
I know, man. I kind of went on a pedal journey myself, and I've just been like going through different things and you know, like circling back. Like now I'm back on the chain drive. You know what I mean?
So you did use direct drive at one point.
I was with Axis for a long time, and like I broke my leg pretty bad in 2015, like 3 places. So I only missed one show, and I came back, and it was like time to record an album. So they were already sending me songs as, you know, I'm trying to mend my leg and get back into it and stuff like that. So I had to jump right back in. And playing with the Cobras they were just too heavy for me to get started because my muscles were weak on that side. So I started playing with the Axis and trying to make that work, you know. But like at the end of the day, I think, you know, the hundreds and thousands and whatever amount of hours that I put on the Iron Cobras, it's impossible to get away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I stayed with the Axis for a long time, and I was just like, couldn't recapture the motion that I had before because of the direct drive. They act different. It's just a different action.
That feels so different. It's so different.
And I started messing around with the Odious Sanction again, and I always used the Iron Cobras for that. So I went back to it just for freaking nostalgia's sake. But the thing is that we were playing old songs that I had played a long time ago, and I still had that muscle memory and those pads. Playing on the old pedals, I started to recapture that motion.
Cool, man.
Now my body just did it automatically. Like playing old songs. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, that's how I was doing it. You know what I mean? It's tough. I spent so much time on a couple days. It's just insane.
Yeah, I feel like I've tried everything too. Like I've tried Axis, I had Tricks, had Iron Cobras, love the Iron Cobras. Just for whatever reason. I had the Speed Cobras.
Same.
What else did I have? DWs. I had DW 7000s. They were actually my first double pedal. I just gave them to a friend. Yeah, I have 2 sets of the eliminators right now, and I really want to get
Eliminators
to
rule.
Eliminators.
Eliminators.
Yeah.
Rule.
I love the eliminators, dude. They're powerful, and you can still get some speed on them. Like they're great for doubles too. Like
that's one I've never messed with. I've never,
dude. Because you guys know Renee from Stabbing.
Yeah.
So one day, I was hanging out in Austin one time, and he had his kit set up, and I just sat down and was like able to play doubles on them automatically. He had those eliminator strap drives, and that was it. I was like, I got to get those pedals. So
yeah, it's great.
They're great.
You know what? Another thing that I want to bring this up because I'm going to forget. Dude, you know what my pet peeve is? The tom dimensions nowadays. Dude, they're so small, dude. So small. So going back to Steve, and I'm not a little dude. You know what I'm saying? But going back to Steve, because I'm probably gonna end up with D-Drum through him, and through him and John that works for D-Drum.
Yeah.
You know. So, but his dimensions are old school, dude. So I would want a Steve Sheen kit,
right?
Because those little toms, I feel like that little monkey that plays with the
you look like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, dude, it's horrible.
Dude, I know, man. I had we did a European tour. I don't know, probably 5 months ago now, and we were playing with Marduk and Mayhem.
Wow.
And there was a couple shows where the stage wasn't big enough, and I had to share the kit with Marduk, and so I had to play his toms, and he's got the little ones, you know what I mean? Which Marduk is great. They're built for speed. That's fine.
They sound great.
But dude, when I'm trying to play like big tom parts and stuff from Immolation on those little toms, it just doesn't sound the same, you know? It's like you're and it's
not the same.
It just, you know,
it's like playing with 20-inch kicks. That last European tour, it was a Thor too, but it was 20-inch kicks. Yeah, they sound great, Mike. Dude. You pretty much got to kick the actual kick, not the pedal, to get that thing to attack her. It's not good. You don't feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough for me with smaller toms.
Yeah, you know the reason. I think the reason they started doing that was because it was cheaper to ship toms when they could just put them inside each other and then just mail them in one big box instead of all the separate boxes and stuff. Yeah. So it's kind of a rip-off.
A lot of it makes sense, you know, because growing up when I did, we were watching frickin' Lars and Nick Brain with the bowl of toms that are wrapping around him, and they're practically straight up and down. You know what I mean? So when I was playing back then, I was playing with a pretty steep angle on the stuff. Mm-hmm. And as I grew older, I would try to correct that and get a little better with that and moving shit flatter. But when you've got those power toms, there's only so are down.
It's hard.
So you run it. So I totally understand the shallow toms, but the tiny little soup cans, I can't get.
Dude, it's hard.
Playing a super fast band, that's totally understandable. You know what I mean? And I've seen
fusion.
And I've seen guys get really low tones out of small drums and stuff. But for me, I want to have those big ones all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I started, I would use the whole kit, all fucking 10, 12. I think it was a 13 and a 14 mounted, 16 and 18. Eventually, I took the 13 off and put the ride from being all the way in the back to right under the tom here, like Tommy Aldridge, without a third tom mounted. But I'll show you the guys a picture after this. The Retribution setup was all 4 toms. It was a fucking huge kit. Huge kit. Huge.
Yeah.
But I'm a big dude. So imagine Hoagland behind a little piece of shit toms.
I know.
It looks like a toy. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the size of the kit?
Great.
What do you guys prefer to have in terms of kit size? Something smaller and simpler, and live versus studio too. What do you prefer?
I think the aesthetics matter still, man. But then again, don't forget I'm old. The aesthetic matters because you got to have 2 kicks or it don't look right. I'm sorry. You got to have 2 kicks to the point where I've had last tour because it was easier. 2 kicks, but I would use a double pedal. It's the Donald Tardy move, just for the aesthetic of having. Which for him it's easy because nothing's a million miles an hour, you know. But that's amazing.
Exactly.
But so I use 2 kicks, 10, 12, 14 mounted, 16 floor, 13-inch hi-hats on the X, 14 on the regular, a 22-inch Mega Bell or 20-inch Mega Bell, 16 and 18-inch Shinas, an 18 and 19-inch crash. That's about it. That's it for me.
I like to have the whole thing because there's none of, like, I can't leave anything off of it. There's really nothing on the kit that I don't hit every song, at least with Immolation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's like a minimum amount of stuff I got to have. And you know, it's hard for me to just leave something home. Sometimes I'll leave a crash home or whatever if I have to, or leave it off the kit if there's not enough stands or whatever. But other than that, and even then, I'll be reaching for that thing. You know what I mean? Doing the ghost swing.
Well, you know what happened with me was when you go on tour and when you have to do everything yourself, it's like, fuck this track. You know, I can live without
The kit's too big.
So that's how I ended up with just when I used them. I ended up just using that at practice. And not have to rely on the other. Because it sucks when you got to go set up your own shit. It fucking blows.
It's true. Yeah, I bitched the whole tour because I got to carry my drums around. I'm like, I got to get a smaller kit.
Took a guy one time, and then I didn't make any money. So I was like, fuck that. I can't even have it.
Yeah. With kits nowadays, it's like they're pretty much all just 10, 12, 16, 22. So it's like, I mean, I wish I had a kit with like a little more variety to it. Maybe 8-inch tom would be cool. 14-inch tom would be cool. Having an 18-inch floor tom on the left would be cool. But like, I just rock with, you know, what kits kind of come with nowadays. I wish I had a second kick, but like it's getting harder and harder because I have a Tama Birch Babinga kit. It's getting harder and harder to find single kick drums for those shells because they discontinued the Babinga Tama kits. You can find them like pop up here and there, but I'm like never prepared to pull the trigger on a second kick. So, and since I trigger, it's just kind of like whatever. I'll just use a single kick with a double pedal. So.
Yeah, that is becoming the standard nowadays.
Yeah, I'm just kind of rocking with whatever, you know. I wish I had, you know, a huge kit and whatever. It would be sick. I'd be doing tom rolls or something. Like, that'd be awesome. Whenever I do get behind a kit like that, I make sure I incorporate more toms, but it's kind of rare. Yeah.
I tried to go down to the 10, just the 10 and 12, I mean the 12 and 14, and get rid of the 10, and that lasted about a show. It had to come back. I couldn't play without it. It was weird.
Yeah.
That's me trying to be Tommy Aldridge. I'm just going to have 2 toms, and that's it. I eliminated the 18-inch floor because it was pretty much a cup holder. I wasn't really using it. Or notes. Oh, okay. This is where the change is.
The table.
It's a table.
Yeah.
So I just took it out. So I don't need it at some point.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a preference for what those drums are made out of? Steve, you mentioned hearing the wood. Brennan, you just mentioned a birch. Tom, I think, but yeah, does it matter? Do you have a preference, like what type of wood, or now they even have like metal kits that are made out of a couple of different things? But
man, I don't know. I'm not on that level. I mean, I know what, you know, when I hear a kit and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I really like the sound of toms that are birch, like Apex Saturn kits, the birch Saturn kits sound all the time. But you know, I've heard all kinds of different drums sound good. You know what I mean? And it also depends on the band too.
Those mahogany sonars you can't find them anymore. I actually found one. I went on Reverb and I found the same kit, but it was gray. And when I went to buy it, the dude had just sold it.
Wow.
I wanted it back. I'm like, yeah, but the same one I had, the red one, but it was Battleship Gray, and it was like, dude, I'm talking like a year ago.
Wow.
I'm like, I want it right now. And he goes, dude, I just sold it. I'm like, motherfucker. And it was same dimension. It was the same exact kit, 19. Fucking kit. But you can't find mahogany here. And I can't play metal snares. I don't think they sound good.
No, you don't do metal
weird.
Wood, everything wood.
Okay.
I mean, I like, I have a maple, one of those Tama G maple snares that I use in my jam room primarily, but I use a brass snare primarily for live stuff.
Those aren't bad. I did, so I played with Righteous Pigs for a minute, and I went to rehearse with them, and the same shit happened. I fucking knew everything because I was a fan. So we went into a studio. Listen to this. Amazing. We went into a studio, and I have recordings of all those songs. We redid it all. But when I get to the studio, the guy goes, come in here, pick a snare. And he had like a room of snares.
Damn.
Dude. And he's like, that's a lot of snares I bought. All of them, John Bottoms.
Whoa.
I go, what? Dude, and he had a brass snare. It weighed a ton, dude.
Yeah.
And I used that, and it's pingy as shit, and I don't even care because it was John Bottoms. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was cool. And while we were in the studio, fucking Jakey D walks in. I'm like, I dropped my stick. I gotta go meet this guy. I can't do it. It was great. It was a great experience with the pigs.
That's
Man. It was awesome.
Where did you go to record that?
In Vegas. The studio belonged to the drummer of that band, and Nubbs Enough.
No shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
the glam, yeah, he was a real good dude, and he got good drums. I had the rough. Mitch never did anything with it, but at least I got the rough on all.
That's really cool, man. Wow.
We recorded the whole Stress Related and most of the first album.
Yeah.
So we played pretty much. Yeah, actually, I take it back. We did play 24 songs on FBS, but you know, those songs are like a minute.
Was that like a big time studio? I mean, like what's like?
All I know is that I used to drum for Enough's Enough, and then he had the bottom there, so he obviously made some money to buy that lot of things. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
J.G. Lee walked in there, so there had to be something good going on with that.
I was gonna say, like, it sounds like a pretty happening place.
So we're in the middle of a track, and I see him walking, and I just stop. And Mitch looks at me, I go, and then he fucking looks, and he drops his guitar away. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, and I'm still a fanboy, dude. I'm still a fanboy. I'm bad with that shit.
So you're playing with like what a maple snare? What do you got?
I got a maple and a birch. I use the birch a lot.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
The warmth, dude, you don't get, and what Brennan was talking about, the pinging, you can pretty much eliminate it completely with a wood. You can't with metal. Metal's gonna ping like a nightmare.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. With a wood snare, you get more of that shotgun sound with the gunshot. Yeah, and with the metal, you get more of the ring.
Yeah.
What about triggers? What's okay to trigger? What's not okay to trigger? How do you feel about that?
Just kick only.
Hey, man, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan of triggering the other stuff. You know, our hands are doing so much, so many subtle things. You know what I mean? And it triggers. You know, it depends on I guess the project too. You know what I mean? So
or the drummer, because it works great for fucking Commando. It works great for Pete.
Exactly. True. I was just gonna say, Pete's not the type of drummer that's doing a lot of grace notes and dynamics. He's not like a dynamics drummer. He's on the toms. He wants all those hits to sound, the same. Yep. For him, it's perfect.
I know we played with them. He used my kit, and fucking dude, it wasn't my nightmare. I played before him, so he had to fucking turn all his triggers. I ain't having that, dude. I don't like the way they sound.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
But it works for him. It works for him great.
Yeah.
But kick drums was a lifesaver, dude. I don't know, man. I struggled so much when triggers first hit the scene, and I was transitioning from mics to triggers, and then back to mics, and then back to trigger. You know what I mean? It was just like, thank God for triggers. That's all.
It has come a long way, you know.
Yeah, no, it's so much better now.
What about
a Yamaha module? Was a nightmare. I learned how to use that fucking thing. Yeah.
What about the sticks? Do you like them thicker or longer, or is there a brand you swear by?
Big First 5580s.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right. They're long, perfectly long, and not too heavy and not too light. They work.
Yes.
I've been around the horn with the drumsticks. I was using 2Bs.
Jesus Christ.
Promark 2B Naturals, the natural finish. And that was like, I love that. And, I grew up in marching band and stuff like that. So I was, I like the heavier sticks or whatever. And if you're using that pendulum, right, it's nice. You get a really good impact. But, I was like getting ready for a tour the one time, and I was like playing a lot, and I was waking up in the morning, and I had like, the numb tinglies.
I get those.
It's like, oh shit, I've been waiting my whole life for the tunnel to happen. So I started to get nervous about it, and I talked to a friend of mine, and he's like, dude, you got to try these sticks. He's like, they were 5As, and I was like, 5As, man, no way. And I played with them, and I just didn't feel right, you know what I mean? It took some time. But I stuck with it, and the numb feelings went away, and I got used to the stick. And I've been doing those ever since. Yeah.
Dude, I get these where my finger stays like this after.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the claw. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit hurt. No, but it's the one finger. This one.
It locks.
Yeah, dude, and I gotta like live and pry it open. Dude, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my left hand goes numb sometimes, but that's from the rim shots. I know that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of funny. I've bounced around between different sizes. I did try 2Bs at one point, but they were just too heavy. I used 5As when I first started drumming, and then I went to 5Bs forever, basically. And then more recently, I went down to 3As. They're the size kind of in between 5As and 5Bs. I think that's perfect. I don't have any like pain when I'm playing with 3As now. I still use the extended length though, like an extra ½ inch. I find that's a really good, just to have a little more reach.
Yeah, exactly.
Get around a little easier. But yeah, I don't want to feel like the stick is fighting me, you know, like I was having some issues with like tendonitis and different muscle shit going on when I was using I was using Scorpion percussion 5Bs, which I didn't realize at the time. Scorpion oversizes their sticks a little bit, so their 5B is really kind of closer to a 2B. It's
shit.
Yeah. So even their 3As are a little heavier than a normal 3A, but that's what I'm using right now. Cool. Good balance, I would say. They almost feel exactly like the extended 5B Vic Firth, which is what I rocked with for a long time.
So like what Steve was saying, I was using 5A, and it felt like I was playing with air, basically. Yeah. And then I would grab the 5B, and it felt too heavy at points. So it's just that one in between. Again, Gus Rios like, try this. I'm like, this is what I'm using from now on. These are perfect.
Yeah.
I find the 55As, and they're a little longer. Oh, the 55AX, the extremes.
Oh,
a little longer. Those are the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very individual thing, man. Everybody's
definitely.
You know.
Definitely different. Is anybody endorsed here?
No.
Companies? No.
No.
No endorsements.
Cell phone, but I gotta pay for it.
I should probably.
You should hit them up.
I should probably work on that.
You should hit them up. Symbols are expensive, brother. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've tried, man. I'm surprised you're not with Sabian, Steve. Like.
Oh, I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. I don't have anybody for sticks though. That's why.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, no. Symbols ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, dude. The retail price for symbols is.
Oh, dude.
Some of these companies, we'll endorse you, but the symbols cost this, and I'm like, okay, I'll buy a Village name for that, or Sabian AA, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Why am I going to pay you for endorse your product, and I'm basically paying costs. I mean, paying what it costs. You know, you're not giving me any hookup. It's so hard now, dude. I had Sabian back in the day, dude, for a little while, when they would replace your broken symbol and shit.
Yeah.
But,
can you tell me more about the drum endorsements? And I mean, a lot of people might be curious to hear more about that process. Did someone just randomly reach out to you, or did you reach out to some of these cymbal companies or whatever? Or what's that experience like?
I reached out. That's my experience. But I reached out to someone in Deidre, Chris Manella, but you know they kind of showed interest too. But it's hard to get anything nowadays. You got to be huge already. When you don't need it, you know, then they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's very difficult for drummers, I think, relatively speaking. Like, I know a lot of guitar players, and they just get guitar endorsements. Like, it's nothing. The guitar's free. Hey, you want another one? You know, for drummers, you got to have like a online presence. You have to have your social media together. You got to have so many views, and you got to have a channel on this thing, and then this platform, and on this platform. You know what I mean? It's very strict. And then you got to go and you got to sell yourself big time. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing for me, is to go and like toot my own horn, so to speak. So I'll go to NAMM and be like, hey man, this is
well, you should, because you're
you know what I mean? So for me, when I started and I was reaching out to Sabian like all the time, just drilling them, you know what I mean? And never got any action. And then I did a tour with Nile, and they were headlining, and I talked a lot with George, became friends with George on that tour. And then all of a sudden, I got home from that tour, and Sabian called me.
Wow.
Okay.
That's awesome.
If
There
you
you
know someone that's already
Yeah.
affiliated with the company or
Mhm.
knows who to talk to at the company,
Mhm.
that's the best way to go. It's
Yeah.
That's what happened with DJ.
call these
Right.
guys, just walk up to them and stuff. If you know
Mhm.
someone that's with the company, I mean, first of all, you're probably going to want to talk to that person, find out what the deal is and how it is to work with that,
Yeah.
that stuff. But I mean, that's the best way to do it. Like,
Mhm.
you know, if it wasn't for George, I don't think I probably would have ever got saved
Mhm.
because drum harmony companies are
Imagine
all,
that, and that's Steve. That's a busy dude. I haven't toured in a few years. Till 2027, I'm not going to do anything, and I'll do what I'm old, man. I'm not going to stay out there for fucking 6 months out of the year. I can't. I'm tired, man. But you got to be. If you're on top and you're going out constantly out, you can probably get something good.
Mhm.
But if you're not going to get shit.
but I think probably the most important thing is to be a good self promoter, man. Like
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
the thing that I've had to work on the most. You know, it's
So I
just
suck at it.
and hey, this is me. I deserve this. What do you think? You know, and it's just like that's kind of really tough.
Come
So
back to Gus. Gus is really good at it.
what's that?
Gus Reeves is really good at
Gus, yeah,
selling himself. He's
Yeah.
really good at that.
he's a good guy to talk to, man. A
Mhm.
super knowledgeable guy about that.
I love that dude, man. Like my brother.
He's a smart guy.
I think Gus actually got Reinert his Sabian deal originally,
Something, yeah.
something like that, or Tama, one of the two.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
I believe it was Tama, and yeah, he's still good. It's from Tama.
Yep.
He's got that hook.
Yep.
It's a
So what
smart
kind of
guy.
perks do you get from these? Is it worth having one of these endorsement deals? Like what do they typically maybe give you? I know it's going to vary, but
I think the D drum deal is tossed. Because you still have to pay. You're not going to get anything for free. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
It's usually a discount of some sort. So you're either getting so much % over cost or you're getting it at a cost. Some
The
guys,
costs are a little over, just not full price. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
some guys are superstars and they're like, okay, where do you want me to drop the kit off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like, I'm playing here. Can I have a kit? Oh yeah, we'll have the
Mhm.
exact kit there. Everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Imagine that. Imagine that life. That would rule.
Oh yeah. And you got a drum tech. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh. I've been at this for many years, and I had one once, and it didn't pan out. It wasn't financially smart.
Yeah, I've seen it. It hasn't happened to me for me yet, but you know,
Yeah,
I'm happy for what I do have. Like I said, you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. You gotta that's it. You gotta love it, or if you don't love it, don't bother.
And every little bit helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, like I said, drum gear is not cheap. So
Yeah. Dude, for me, I've gotten really good at looking at Reverb and eBay and Marketplace and stuff. I find really good deals on cymbals. Like
Reverb.
at one point recently, I was hitting this guy up on Marketplace. He had one of those Sabian 14-inch Weckel mini chinas, and it was like $100. And I'm like, dude, I really need this. Like, let me buy it. And he just would not respond to me. And I was like, fuck, man, it's such a good deal. But yeah, you gotta try and get what you can get. I've tried reaching out to companies before, and they're like, sorry, your numbers aren't quite there. You know, it kind of sucks, but it's like,
Yeah.
at least they checked it out. You know, that's cool.
Yep.
I'm not gonna mention names or companies. He doesn't work there anymore, but I don't want to. So I had a friend that worked for a company that provided Backline, and these dudes will literally skin the whole kit. The show would happen, and then they remove it and store it. So this dude would sell me, dude, I'd buy like 5 heads of each for like $50, like for everything, like 5 kick heads, 5 10s, 5 12s, and he would hook me up. So that was great to have.
That's nice.
Oh yeah.
A fucking head that was used for one show.
Yeah.
Is that top and bottom heads too? Or
You could get both. I would get like 5 10s tops. You know, if I needed a bottom, I'd throw a bottom or 2 in there. But yeah, that person, I'm not gonna out him because I don't want him to get fired.
Yeah, that's a nice hookup though.
Yeah, he took care of me.
That's cool.
He took care of me.
So to what extent do you guys find that the drumming is hard on the body? Brennan mentioned pain with a particular stick earlier. Is that something that you've experienced, especially as you've been doing this for a long time? And how do you try to combat that? Is there like any kinds of stretching or exercising you swear by? Or
Stretch, posture, guys. Posture, your posture. Very.
posture,
Now,
yeah.
do not. I sit straight up. If you see, I sit kind of high, and now even more, a little higher. But I sit straight up, and everything has to be within reach. You don't want to reach for anything, which is what killed Pete Sandoval. He was Lee Harrison kills. I can't. It hurts me to watch him play, and he's amazing because he hunches, dude. Completely. That's got to destroy your back, dude. It has to.
Dominator too, same thing. He's always like, I'm like, dude, how is he going this fast like this? Yeah.
I'm a hunter too, man. I constantly have to work.
Yeah, but I know you, Steve. You're not that bad. You're not that bad.
But it's like, yeah, it's just something I've been fighting against. But that'll help a ton. It'll get you in the long run, the lower back issues. And
my back stopped hurting after I sat up. Right, you know what I mean?
What's that?
When I sat up straight, my back stopped hurting.
It makes a difference. Yeah, if you consciously do it, you're like, oh my god, I was really like curving my shoulders, all that. You know what I mean? It's bad. Your rotator cuffs, the tendonitis, stuff like that.
Yeah,
a lot. It has a lot to do with the drum setup too. You know, like I know.
Yeah.
Where that ride cymbal's way back here, you know, like they're on the other side of the drums, that'll rip your shoulder up. I've had surgery.
Or up high even, but I don't like it up high. I don't know. Up high is for jazz dudes or something. For prog rock.
And any way you look at it, it's repetitive motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Repetitive motion. And there's no way around that. But if you try to make your motions economical, you try to make them efficient, you know what I mean? Like I've always been all about that. Like when I was, like I said, growing up and learning to play and practicing with guys like, you know, Alex and Paul Mazurkowitz and stuff, I'd go to the shows and I would try to get these guys' attention after they played and be like, yo, you got a second to talk? Like give me some hints, you know what I mean? Like what's going on back there? And I remember Paul Mazurkowitz told me that, and he was, yeah, well, he's like, I can't swing around like I was, you know, like when I was rocking and rolling. He's like, you got to kind of control the swing. You can't, you know, control your motions, keep them.
Yeah. No, he's changed. But my first tour was with Paul. The complete control tour with Obituary Agnostic, Cannibal, what a tour now. But yeah, he was horrible. His posture was bad. And then when I seen him in the class a couple times, he sits upright more. He's so much better, man.
Yep.
He's not going to walk in 7 years.
Yeah. So that was an important lesson for me. You know what I mean? But you know, and there's heavy hitters. You know, I see guys that hit hard all the time. You know, like Eloy and there's even some fast guys that hit hard. You know, but like I just think about that's their natural expression. That's totally cool. You know, everybody plays different, but I worry about longevity in that case. You know what I mean?
That's the problem.
For sure.
Your elbows, your shoulders, all those joints. And then not to mention, like, as death metal drummers, we have the whole below the waist to worry about, like your knees, your ankles. Most run into a lot of ankle problems or whatever over their career. But when you're doing double bass, there's wear and tear, both legs.
Right now, I'm at a point where I wasn't even going to say anything about it, but I mean, Steve knows. I'm at a point where I'm learning how to play again, man. I got a leg. You know what I mean? I got a prosthetic, and it's going really good. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it anymore, and it's working just fine. It's happening. You know what I mean? But I got to learn again, and that's why I said I had to sit up a little higher to be able to control, to be able to get because I play on the front of my foot. I don't play flat, so I have to be able to get that leg up. I have to sit up higher. You know what I mean? But it's working out pretty good.
That's awesome. Good. That's the drumming spirit, dude. That's the drumming spirit.
I can't. So what I did was, okay, we're going to go out in 27 and do some shows. I better be ready. Or I'm going to look like an idiot. Because that's the only way I'm going to get it done. I'm going to sit here and I should do this. I should do that.
Fuck yeah,
bro.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
I got to, man. That's all I know how to do. That's all I've ever done.
Yeah, you can do it, dude. You got the spirit.
I got it.
Hell yeah.
I got it. Yeah, dude. I got it, dude. I want to play. I have to.
Fuck yeah, I know. I feel that, man.
We got a live album coming out, which I wanted to talk about too, because that shit sounds. I gotta send it to you guys. That shit sounds amazing. Solstice live in Holland.
Look forward to it.
It sounds so good. It sounds studio album. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Steve, you brought up a good point with repetitive motion. It's like there's almost, I don't want to say nothing you can do about it. Like one thing that I've found that helps is actually weightlifting a bit, you know, trying to get the wrists a little stronger. For me, my big problem was this part of my thumb. whenever I grip the stick, like sometimes I would kind of do this, like I'd press into the stick a little bit. So I've had to learn to actually imitate what my left hand does, which is pretty much like if I had the stick in my hand, it'd be up against the side of my thumb, and my thumb would be pretty much straight. So I try not to do that. I try and just have it more like not pressing in like that, but because that's how you get that. That's how that muscle gets fucked up.
Yeah, because that's constantly there. Then.
Yeah, and then you're throwing it with your wrist. It's a bad time. Yeah.
How much of that is there in drumming, like where your one hand is doing it right and the other one isn't? You have to teach the other one.
Exactly.
A lot.
Yeah, totally.
What the other hand's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Alex, you mentioned that you've got to drum, right? All of you guys, could you mention, like, what does drumming mean to you? And just looking forward, are you afraid that there will be a day where, like, maybe you can't... How long can we play death metal, right?
It's a big question. We're finding.
Do you ever have to, put up? We're seeing these bands, begin to really age in real time, right?
If I come back after everything after everything that's happened to me now, if I come back from this, I'd probably be playing for a while. I don't even know how. I can't anymore. I guess. What does it mean? Everything.
Yeah, till they take the sticks away from you.
Yeah. Prime and watch out if my fingers stay like that. You can't take them out.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. We'll see, because we've got these guys, these pioneers that we're watching. They're the lead horses in the race right now. And I just did a tour with Deicide, and I watched Steve fucking kill it every night. And dude,
because Hoagland
he's one of the guys
keeps getting better.
Yeah.
How does Hoagland get better? Every year, he's like better and better and better. I was like, "Fuck you, Gene."
Yeah, I don't know if there's an answer to that. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to just find out, because no one's ever done it before. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Drumming is
it's a new thing, relatively. I don't think we have anyone who's in their 70s playing death metal yet, do we?
Nope.
Not yet. No, maybe I don't know. 16 drummer wise.
Yeah,
not yet.
Yeah,
Blood it's there.
We'll see. I guess the closest thing might be like Iron Maiden. Nico McBrain. How old was he when he stopped? Like,
he didn't stop. He just stopped with Maiden. He's got a Maiden cover band.
He's got like a solo project or something. He's got a project he tours with. Yeah,
they're called Titanium Tart.
But it's as an art form, it's getting smarter. Guys are using the doubles more, things that we never used to see, and
the techniques like that.
Yeah, man.
The slip thing and the heel toe and all that shit. I don't know anything about that. Everything for me.
Yeah.
I'm a kid. Beat it up.
Yeah.
I don't think I can relearn how to do something new. I've tried.
Teach an old dog new tricks thing. I know.
Exactly.
I'm a singles player too, but I know. I mean, it's not hard to recognize the fact that being able to do that is going to push things to a whole new level. And you know what I mean? It's happening already, obviously, but you know what I mean? It's just like they're being smarter about going fast. And
do you use any of that, Brennan? Like heel toe or any of this?
I do doubles sometimes. I typically get too scared to pull them out live because I feel like I'm going to fuck them up real bad. And people will be like, oh, he's going, brr, 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 brr. Hear a little burst in there. You hear that all the time with the guys that do doubles live, man. And it's like they have to have the kick drum a certain way, and they have to have their triggers a certain setting. And it's like, I would rather just play slower singles, honestly. I'd rather play triplets than try to go for the 30 seconds.
You're absolutely right.
As long as it's even. And like you said, play to your limitations. I don't try and play the fast kicks all the time. I'm all hands, Yeah.
Yep.
Triggers are tricky, man, because I hit the snare hard, so I would have to really be careful, because sometimes I would hit the snare and pick up the kick.
Yeah. Crosstalk is a real problem. That's why I started using the on triggers, the pedal mounted triggers. So I can use my pedals on any kit, and it's never an issue because there's my snare's not going to set it off or whatever.
I'm doing the same thing with the foot blaster.
Yeah.
What about modules? I just use a T2, man. Roland.
I use the Roland SPD pad, the sample pad now, with the same exact settings that I was using on the TM2, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I use. The TM2 and just those Roland black triggers.
Oh, yeah. Those are solid, though, man.
Really good
triggers. Yeah.
Really good. What do you use?
I use a Roland TM1. I had two TM2s before that, and then before that I had the TD6 and the TD6V. So I've been using Roland since back in the day when the only game in town was the Elysis. You know what I mean? So
I never got into the Elysis. I used it because that's all I had. That's all, the only choice was that you had the D drums that kind of suck.
yeah.
Pete still uses D drums. The little red module.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how the fuck did he make those things work, man? There's some of the shittiest triggers ever.
I know. I used to hate those.
Pick up cymbals when I tried it.
Oh my god.
I'll pick up my cymbal. I'll kick drum on a cymbal. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
That was the reason that I was going back and forth between triggers and mics all the time. It was because they were so miserable back then. That's the things are different. These new hits and that stuff, they work great, man. And
so the first triggers I had, you had to tape the trigger to the head.
You had what?
You had to tape the actual little trigger thing to the head.
To the head.
It wasn't even a clamp on it.
Yeah.
That shit sucked. That sucked.
Little red shot triggers.
Yeah.
Those things, I just end up fucking them all up, hitting them, putting them, hitting them. That's what sucks with triggers on the snare. You gotta be careful where you put that thing. You're gonna fuck it all up. I never used it, so.
Yeah, but again, it's just technology is helping us play faster and longer, and hopefully further into our old age. You know what I mean? Hopefully,
I don't want to. I don't want to say that that's why everybody goes 1,000 miles an hour, but it helps.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like I said, hopefully that adds to the longevity. Hopefully, we don't have players falling out because they're too old. I mean, it's inevitable. No one's going to play into the grave, but we can fucking damn well try.
So now I'm a fanboy, Steve. How was it watching Callias?
What's that?
How was it watching George Callias every night?
Oh, that was nuts, dude. It's hard on the psyche, dude. Like it's hard on the ego to watch somebody like that every night. I
can imagine.
Yeah. Start getting imposter syndrome and shit.
Dude, totally. Dude, watching Donald Tardy on my first tour, that's me, I know. Watching him and that dude never fucks up.
No.
Never. I think we did 60 or 40 shows with him, and I watched every night. He doesn't fuck up.
Dude, one thing I love about Donald is he has a tendency to like strategically play the one a little bit late. He'll kind of like land the one just a little bit behind to where it has that like how would you say, just like a little bit behind the beat feel to where it's just it kind of relaxes everything. It kind of pulls everything in.
That's a little different type of groove to it almost.
Yeah, for sure.
And then what baffled me with him was he doubles on the hi-hat on the ride, but not on the hi-hat.
Who's that? No, really.
Donald, he does this on the hi-hat. He doubles on the ride. Everything. Is that he's just lazy, or I don't know what the fuck he wants.
He's a super unique player, but man, he's solid as a rock, dude. He is.
If you pay attention to him, he's Tommy Aldridge reincarnated too. He's another one. He's total Tommy.
I was just told that Nico McBrain is 74 and Pete Sandoval is 62 now. And I saw Pete like 2 years ago at a Brutal Assault Fest, I think it was. And I saw him playing with I Am Morbid, and they were playing the Covenant tunes. And I was like, dude, I was getting choked up. I was there by myself, and I was just like screaming and yelling.
Oh,
and I was really like emotional about it because he was fucking kicking ass on those songs. And I know the dude's been around, so I was just like, oh.
It was a back surgery and shit too, like.
Yeah. Well, when he used my kid, it was even worse. He was doing all that terrorizer shit, which is all 1,000 miles an hour. And I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So we're keeping our eyes on those guys. The guys that brought me into this stuff.
They're the mark to
Pete. Yeah. Stop for Pete. Pete and Mick Harris is the reason I ever blasted.
Yeah.
Those two dudes. Yeah. And I'm a 1 foot guy. I'll always be a 1 foot guy with a 1 foot blast.
Mm-hmm.
I love Pete. Pete's like his own metronome with a little bounce and shit.
I loved talking to Gene Hoagland about Pete and how frustrated he was. He was just like, I was like, oh my God, listen to this guy now, Imagine being like, yeah, I'm on top of the game, you know what I mean? I got this fucking shit locked up, and then you hear some other guy who's just like, I mean, all of us our whole lives or whatever, but back then, you know what I mean, when the stuff was just starting.
I still remember when I got this and I put on Death of Certain, I was like, I give up, dude. I give up. This thing is 1,000 miles an hour, dude.
Yeah, drummers that make you want to.
or Angel of Death. Even Angel of Death, the first time I heard that, I go, the fuck?
Mhm.
You know?
So how
And now
do you
that's
guys deal with that feeling, that imposter syndrome, when you see some of these guys just doing things you could never imagine, or even like very young kids now even doing some of this extraordinary stuff. But yeah, do you have those kind of doubts, and how do you navigate those?
Oh, I had it from the get go. I grew up playing next to Sean Reiner, and of course I had. But
Yeah.
there's things that everybody does that not other people do. Unique. I had like the
That's right.
fills, and those fills just came from emulating Hogan because he uses a lot of Pete Tom fills like I do. And so I had that going. So I was like, well, at least I can do this. He doesn't really do that. You always try to, so because if not, you'll go crazy. You're like, I give up. Fuck this. You know what I mean? Because there's always somebody better.
Yep, that's the drummers that drive you. You know what I mean? That's
and when you meet them, and they're super humble, like Sean was, dude. He was all about helping me. How could you not love him?
that's awesome.
I mean, I still miss that dude.
Yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from the newer kids. Obviously, it's almost impossible not to, and you try to learn that. And that's why I said I spent so much time on double bass and blast and stuff like that. Like I can hear my girlfriend down the hallway working on Latin stuff or whatever she comes up with that day, like cool stuff like that. And it's just like
She's getting out of control. I watch the videos. She's getting really good.
yeah. But so it's like I would like to branch out and work on that stuff, but with these kids these days flying, you know what I mean? If I want to stay in the same league, I got to work on it. But.
Oh, with the speed thing, I just said, fuck it, that's just not me. Honestly, that's what I said. Because
that's true.
To keep up. These dudes are fucking like they're all on the autobahn in Germany going 1,000 miles an hour.
Well, speed is speed, but I mean, it's just like everybody's got their own way of expressing themselves. You know what I mean? So, and like I was saying with the heavy hitters earlier, that's just something that you naturally do to express yourself the way you're going to express yourself. So for some of us, our speed set and where we want to say what we want to say is in a different area than other guys. You know what I mean? And it depends on the guys you're playing with too. A lot of that.
Some dudes are flashy, but they're super solid. Some other dudes are flashy and all over the place. It depends. It all depends. On other dudes that I had at the very beginning, I had not many people talk about. Dude, Steve Flynn. Steve Flynn's amazing. Steve Flynn.
Steve Flynn.
Oh yeah.
That's another dude. Him and Sean were pretty much the same. They were both just as good as each other.
Bad motherfuckers, dude. Yeah.
To grow up and be around those dudes in the same scene, I was privileged. I'm gonna be honest.
You were lucky. That's great.
Yeah, no doubt. I guess I have a few points to riff on with that. Like with the, there's always some kid somewhere who can do what you can do, but better. And you kind of gotta just accept that shit. But there's also probably things you can do that they can't do. So it's like this trade-off. No one can do everything. Also, people can do certain things at one point in their life and then they can't do it later. Or they can do something later in life they couldn't do when they're younger. So it's like, that's what I'm finding with my playing now is like, I'm a lot more tasteful and I think my timing is better. I might not, it might sound weird, but like, I'm kind of, I only practice the really fast stuff for Brodequin because I have to. When I have a show coming up or whatever, I don't even really play drums that much anymore. It's like I'm doing a lot of guitar stuff, so I'm working on that. I have a new band I'm working on, which requires more tasteful playing. It still has blasts in it, but I get to show the Sean Reiner influence and whatnot. That's so it's cool. Like, yeah, it's a real fun project I'm working on. Get to do more funky syncopated. It's a very heavily syncopated band in general. So the guitar riffs are funky and offbeat, and I try to match all that shit and like really be melodic on the kit too. That's something I've worked on a lot over the years.
It's great to have an outlet to do that when you're band.
Oh yeah, because it's always been in here, and I just haven't really had a place to put it. The closest thing was when my Death tribute band was active. I was getting to play like the Reiner, like the Human stuff and the Hogan stuff and Richard Christie stuff, and that's what kind of got me to like funnel that influence into this new project too. So yeah, I mean, again, there's always someone that can do basically what you do, maybe not exactly, but pretty well, and they might be like half your age, but they can't do something that you could do sometimes too. So.
I get that with my 6 doublet type of fills. A lot of people, I don't even know what to ask them if people have problems with that. You know who got those things really good down? Because he's like, dude, I just practice it. Richard Christie's got my fills down to a science. Yeah, he's got it all down. He knows it all.
Who was
He's
that?
talked about it. I saw a video on the short show video. He's talking about me. I just shut the fuck up. You're beyond that, dude. Christy's another fucking ridiculous drummer.
Oh yeah, he's a monster, dude. Those sextuplet fills that you're talking about, dude. I played those wrong for so long when I started listening to you, and I was trying to learn them and stuff.
And this
Three on the hand, three on the feet. That's how I used to. That's how I thought you were doing it. You know what I
it's
mean?
2-4 actually. It's like 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 something like that.
Yeah,
it varies, but that's all Holmgren. That came from Lee Scars, the end where he does all those crazy fills that song.
Yeah,
and he was just him. Dude, imagine this scene. Listen to Lee Harris, Pete, fucking Steve Flynn, Steve Machine, Sean Ryder, and me. That was the scene in the 90s here. Every one of those drummers did something, man. It's cool.
yeah, and you're all unique. Super sick, dude.
And we all learned and collaborated and did things together and learned from each other.
Yeah, I was in love with the Florida scene back then, dude. We were all like, move to Florida.
Yeah, well, like, everybody did. Cannibal, fucking DSI, fucking I think Vaccinated was down here.
That was like the death metal.
Malevolent. That was the only one that wasn't from Buffalo. And even Rob was from Buffalo.
Yep.
That was the token Cuban kid. Yeah,
So
that's another thing that made Miami cool, man. It's unique. Rob loves Miami. He learned how to speak so much Spanish in Miami.
A bunch of New York guys coming down there and grabbing Latino drummers and going to town.
Dude, okay, even I'm playing with, you know who was my first bass player when we started playing thrash? Tony Troy.
Who?
Really?
Tony Troy.
Oh, wow.
Tony Troy was the first dude I played. I didn't join Malevolent the first time around because I was like, oh, Tony doesn't go with me. I'm not going. So they weren't going to fire Jay. So then Tony joined Cynic, and I ended up in Malevolent anyways. And then when I joined Malevolent, I was like, Rob doesn't go with me. I'm not going. And they took Rob too, but they knew Rob. So
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. Rob, there's a magic there between me and Rob, man. I got lucky with Rob. Dude.
I know, dude. I agree 100%, dude. I love everything you guys did together. That's so funny that you made it a package deal.
Yeah, he'll tell you. He loves telling that story. Alex was like, I'm not going without Rob. And I wasn't. And I wanted to join Malevolent for a while.
Yeah.
Because they were the head band. They were the hit band. Yeah. Not so much Cynic. Because Cynic was weird. So even their thrash shit was all technical. So it was like, but Malevolent was the hit band. The band that you knew was going to fucking do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys hear? Do you guys hear yourself in some of these newer players here? Do you experience that at all? Like they definitely took that influence from me, and how's that feel? Like,
I would have to pay attention. I usually just listen to drums. Sometimes I don't catch that, dude. Yeah. Like I'm not sitting there going, oh, I did that fucking. It's just like, damn, he's good. You know, he's a good drummer. Played with him. He ruined my snare. That's a funny story. My snare. Blake, he was in Vector. Remember Vector? The band Vector?
Vector, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was in, when he played with us, he was in, I don't know, that fucking War or something or other. They're a big thrash band from LA. Warbringer. And I let him my snare, and he was playing with marching sticks. And he fucking warped my rim. God. He warped my rim on my snare. He's like, motherfucker, Blake Anderson. But Vector ruled. I love Vector. I was impressed that they broke up.
Vector, okay.
Vector, yeah, Vector.
All right.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I hear my playing in other people, but I know he hears his playing in my playing for sure. Because I was like the biggest Alex Marquez fan.
How is it that what I'm trying to say? I guess when I listen to other drummers, I'm not listening for that. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just listening, especially when there are people that I know.
Oh yeah.
Like Steve, that I know, that's my buddy, or now let's see, even with Brennan, now I know him, right? So now I'm gonna be just, oh shit, that's killer. Oh man, yeah, you got that from me. Christie, I did. Richard Christie, I did notice a little.
Yeah.
A little. But then when I heard Burning Inside, I didn't really pay attention. I was like, this guy's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
mentioned. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, some of these guys that that I thought of when you said maybe influence, maybe I could kind of hear myself in them, are just friends of mine that you know, I've kind of encouraged to try and play fast and also tastefully. My buddy Will Burhans is one of those. Also, Andy Vincent, who I referred for the unfortunate Vitriol tour. We still joke about that. Yeah, they asked me if I could do it. I was like, no, I can't do it. Check out my buddy Andy, though, and then all that shit happened. But yeah, also that guy, Luca Romero, super sick. He's like 15 or 16 or some shit. He just moved to Vegas from Australia. He's bonkers, and he does Brodequin covers. And I'm like, all right, well, I know who I'm hiring when I can't do that shit anymore. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I want to talk about one dude that I can't believe he's one of my favorites. Brandon Thomas, Ripping Corpse.
Oh,
that dude was my God. That dude was at Sean level, dude. He just never got the credit he deserved.
Honestly, yeah, pretty unsung, great drummer. Yeah.
Yep.
He was. I remember that demo. I bought that demo at Aces Records in Tampa, which was the place for death metal and metal. And I heard that, and I flipped my shit. Even on the first fucking Solstice promo thing, I'm wearing the Ripping Corpse shit, dude. I was in love with that band. They didn't even have an album out yet.
Speaking of great drummers, what do you think about in death metal? We see this a lot, just bands maybe using or just projects with one person or something using programmed drums. How do you feel about programmed drums?
I don't hate it because there's people that just have to do it, but come on, find a drummer, dude. It's nothing like it's not organic. It's not organic.
I understand, like Alex said, I understand the need. You know, if you're one dude and or whatever it is, and you just need to get that music out of you. That's totally cool. Mm-hmm. And I've heard a lot of guys that do it, you know, that like put the album out or whatever, and they've done a good job with the drums. Where I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Good ideas and stuff like that. But it's never the same as listening to one of these guys. You're like,
I mean, there's so many dudes doing session work. There's all these guys like you could hit up, and it kind of makes me wonder. Like, I wonder if they just didn't want to spend the money or what it is. But there's plenty of guys that will take your programmed drums and basically play them to a T on the record if that's what you want, or they can add their own flair to it or whatever. So I'm not really. I would have no reason to be pro programmed drums or anything, but like there are times where they can be pretty convincing, you know.
Yeah, I try not. I try not to be an old guy about it, you know, like a stick in the mud or whatever. But I'm just not going to get the same level of enjoyment listening to it when I know it's not
same page.
Others out there sweating, you know what I mean, and doing it. So
I miss running to get a record because I was excited to hear the drummer. A lot of people sound the same now, man. It's like not.
Yep.
I don't get that excited. Even Hogan, okay, I've heard it 1,000 times. Even though he gets better, I don't know how, but he does. But yeah, it's not the same, dude. Nothing's the same. Going out to buy a record and taking a chance on it, and then it being fucking. What I always bring up is excitement, violence, of course. Buying that record and not knowing they looked cool, so I'm gonna buy it, and then putting that fucking thing on, and it was like bowing. You don't get that feeling anymore, dude. I don't.
Speaking of things changing, what about artificial intelligence? So we increasingly see people use that as maybe a songwriting tool, or even just to create the music for them. How do you feel about AI?
Boo. Yeah.
The only thing I enjoy on AI, and that's on fucking Facebook when they do those fucking funky songs of like Slayer and Blood, funky or you know.
Those can be funny.
Those are funny, but that's it, dude. That's it. Yeah. I asked that question. Funny you should bring that up because I posted that. What do you all think about AI? Now one person. Fuck that. Everybody.
It gives me a weird feeling, man. It does. I remember some years ago the first AI death metal band was, and I think it's still going, like playing the same song, or maybe they had like they're on their third version of it because it keeps learning more. But there's this thing called Relentless Doppelganger.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, okay. So that was my first, really only experience with anything AI music, and it's not really even just kind of vomited out. You know what I mean? Like noises, sounds, and stuff like that resembles death metal. You know, but
And it's all going to be regurgitated anyway because AI is just trained off of human, output.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, mathematical average of what already exists.
Yeah, I want to hear what somebody's got to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, how do
Expression.
you even do that? You're like, oh, I got an idea. Play a riff in the style of this band. So you're pretty much copying people already.
Yeah.
Plagiarism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing new. Yeah.
Well, there's kind of nothing new anymore, anyway. Dude. I mean, honestly.
I'm not a big fan. It gives me a weirld feeling when I see AI.
Yeah, me too.
When I hear AI, it just gives me this weird feeling that I'm not comfortable with, and then I don't know.
And again, I'm old when it comes to video. Sometimes I don't catch it. I'm like, holy shit! Then somebody's like, dude, that's AI. I'm like, fucking son of a bitch.
You bastards almost have me. Yeah.
And I'm like freaking out. This dog's doing backflips and it's a lie. You know what I mean?
I'm not a big fan, man.
Nah, man.
So, do you guys play around much with time signatures? Do you keep it mostly 4/4? Do you like to experiment a little bit, or is there even room for that in death metal or your style?
There's room for it. Yeah. It kind of depends. Like usually it comes from the riff first. I'm not just gonna tell my guitarist like, "Hey, today we're gonna play in 7/8," because that's gonna end horribly, But typically, guitarist it honestly is the best when it's unintentional. If it's written, the idea just comes out odd. It's not like you have it in your mind, like, okay, today we're going to play an 11/8. If a riff just comes out that way, then that's the way it's supposed to feel. All right, we're going to play it that way. Kind of like, Rush felt natural. They had odd time going on. Never forced.
And I'm not a big fan, I'll say it. But it didn't feel forced at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Meshuggah, I think Thomas Hawk writes drum parts and he writes riffs.
Yeah, he does now.
How does that even work? I don't even know.
Well, with that stuff, it's rhythmic. I can see it's a little more of a bridge across.
Polymetric stuff there too.
Yeah,
that's crazy. He's out of control.
Yeah, for me, my bands are pretty square. I mean, even Immolations doesn't have a whole lot of weird stuff anymore. Sometimes there'll be something that throws me off or whatever.
Yeah.
And like Brennan, I have a band that we just kind of do that on purpose. It's like a band where I do stuff on the drums that I don't do with the other bands. You know what I mean? So we experiment with time signatures and playing funky stuff and, like non-double bass type shit. You know what I mean? Non-blast stuff. So that's cool. That kind of gave me an outlet for that. You know what I mean? To try to play more with that kind of stuff. But I really enjoy that. Odd time signatures, trying to make them feel natural and trying to groove them. That's our job. Yeah. So if you take something that's naturally like a herky-jerky thing, but you can make it sound smooth and groovy and, you know what I mean? Make movie to it.
That's cool. That's kind of what I didn't do because I'm a boneheaded metalhead and metal for life and it's all metal and fuck everything else. And I've always been the same way. I kind of still am. So I never really got too experimental with anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. What I listen to now is I went back to the 80s, all my 80s, but I'm wearing a fucking.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to subsist on just that band. You know what I'm saying? Like I have I need to do the metal, I need to do the blast, and double bass, and to drive.
Yeah,
but
of course.
To be able to do that band, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like I said,
I commend you guys. I just was never able. No, I just didn't try. I guess I would. But that's awesome that you guys do that, man. It's another creative outlet.
Well, I mean, that's you too, though, dude. Like, when I first started listening to death metal, a lot of it was very barbaric. And as a drummer that was being trained classically in school, when I was in junior high and high school and all that shit, and I was in all those bands where we read music and all that crap.
I did it first. I was in band in school too.
Yeah.
First.
And then when I got into death metal, I was like, some of that was so barbaric, like napalm and stuff like that. And I liked it. I was obviously attracted to it and I was interested in it. But I was like, as a drummer, I was a little worried about like, is this really like a legitimate thing? Because it was before I heard guys like Alex and guys like Sean Reinert that brought that depth of technique to death metal. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. I think it was like 92, 93, like this rash of albums came out and the drummers were playing like legitimate drum chops, death metal. And I was like, oh, this can be something that's respected and legitimate and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thank God.
Very clean, not a mess tight,
And and not just barbaric, just like booka 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 booka.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's Mick Harrison's completely just most barbaric drummer.
As soon as I heard, Alex Marquez doing a snare fill, I'm just like, oh, that's what I'm talking. There it is.
That's all, dude. I got that off. I'm telling you, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean Reiner's ready. You could. I got to thank Sean Reiner until the day I died.
Yeah. Well, I think we all owe him a lot.
So we might use the word legend to describe him, but others maybe have used that word legend to describe some of you guys as well. If you have experienced that, can you tell me how that makes you feel for somebody to call you that word legend?
It used to be a little much, and now it's cool now. The older I get, it becomes a little cooler. You know what I mean? And then you start getting to points where, I'm going to be 56. You start getting to points where you kind of remember the old shit and you remember the good times. And it sounds cool when people come up to you, still go to shows, and everybody's talking to you. But when I was young, I didn't like it. I was like, shit, when I was younger, and I was still very active. Yeah. And then having people that I looked up to tell me that, I'm like, man, are you making fun of me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. I if people ever say that sort of thing to me, you know what I mean? It's just like, I appreciate it. I know they're just saying it to me to be nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's totally cool. I mean, I don't believe it. And I know dudes who are legends. You know what I mean? So it's just like, but that's kind of the cool thing about this little round table is you got like 3 kind of distinct generations of drummers here. And so like, we're all legends for each other. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought it would be cool, but this has been way cooler than I could ever imagine.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, Steve, I know. I know Steve. But talking to Brennan, he's like younger, and it's cool. Yeah. We all can relate, and it's cool. This is awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, getting props from anyone is just, it's a blessing in and of itself. It's humbling. It's not something that I'm ever going to take for granted. There are times where it's like, man, I just hope I can inspire other people.
You will.
That's the best part of it.
I don't even care if I am the best or whatever. I just want to be, I want to do the best that I can and also try to pass on the inspiration to other people, which is the biggest thing,
You know what's crazy too? Like for me, going to the Americas, like Central and South, for me, it's like even another level because being Hispanic, to them, you're like even more than what you are. And it's crazy. I've gotten bombarded. We got bombarded in Peru. I was like, and a lineup to talk like this. It's a lot of people. And everybody wants to, and then I end up talking to everybody. So it's like, I can't blow anybody off. Dude, they're there to come and talk to me, dude. That's the highest honor you can ever fucking block.
Well, we're death metalers, and so it's like it's always mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? Because we never planned on making anything big out of this or being famous or anything. We're just playing this kind of crazy death metal or this crazy music that only a few people liked, really. You know what I'm saying? And we just wanted to do that. So
if we wanted to, if I didn't do it, didn't love it, I would be doing something else and making a bunch of money. You know, I played this music all my life. I played metal all my life because I absolutely live it. I adore it. That's heavy metal and metal music is my life.
Yep.
So metal and drumming seems so important. Would you guys say that there is a spiritual component to drumming for you? And if so, could you elaborate on that?
Well, I mean, rhythm in general is pretty deeply, spiritual. Everything is a vibration. So, drums honestly all share that. There's resonance between drums. Like if you hit a floor tom, you might hear your high tom going off with it. So I don't know. There's definitely like just an energy to it, even on just the most basic level,
Totally true. Dude, there's times people, I didn't notice it was pointed out. There's points at shows where, dude, I'm like, my eyes are closed. Mm-hmm. I'm gone. I'm not there, dude. I'm in another plane, dude. I'm gone. Yeah. I've seen pictures. I'm like, holy shit, I'm not even looking at anything, dude. It's like, I'm in a trance, dude. I'm gone.
Yeah, that flow state.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. 90% of the photos of me, my eyes are closed. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. For me, it's a total energy thing, like Brennan said. Like, like I go to work all day or whatever, and I'm like in traffic and dealing with people, and I'm picking up this static, this energy all day from all that mess that I'm doing, waiting to play drums. And then when I get home and I play drums, that's when all that energy comes out.
Just get that shit out. Yeah.
Super cathartic. And I don't know if you want to call it spiritual or whatever it is, but yeah, it feels that way. You know what I mean?
I won't deny it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you were talking about earlier in the evening, you were talking about needing to play drums. You know what I mean? And that's really what it is for me. I go for a stretch of days or whatever. I get ornery. I get, you know what I mean? I can feel it. I can feel it. Right.
I was at a point when this whole thing happened with my leg where I was done. I was depressed. I was in bed all day, and I just fucking said, I can't just say fuck it, because what am I going to do? This is all I've done my whole life. You know what I mean? Yep. I absolutely love it. There's no drug. This is cliche as fuck, but there is no drug that feels like this. No, none. And believe me, I know. There's
brother.
Yeah. There's no drug that feels like sitting behind a kid.
It's true.
It's crazy. Dude, I had a dude come up to me, and I'll never forget the story. His name was Kyle. I'll never forget the dude. I play with the pigs, with the righteous pigs, and at MDF. And I go, I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know. Have you ever been to MDF, you guys?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember when that 1 year that I played 2 years later was the same place. There was like a diner right there, like a remote diner on the side between the stage. I went to that diner and some dude walked in. How do you beat this dude? Some dude walks in and he goes, I knew it. And I go, what? I knew it was you. I was walking from the other stage and fucking you did a fill and I had to run because there's only one person.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that till the day I die.
Oh yeah.
That's what makes it all worth it.
Totally. Yeah. Yep. That's what we need more of these days. As guys, we do. Sound, man.
Individuality, that's kind of lost.
100%.
So we can start winding down here. Can you
just
mention if
I was going to say my phone is dying? It's like a toll. I forgot.
So we can try.
I totally forgot to charge it.
Oh no. So can we? I just want to comment on something because of something Steve told me before we started recording, which is, can you say anything about that work-life music balance? Because I know Steve mentioned as he's getting ready for the next Immolation tour coming up, so he's working a full hour day, and then he gets home, and then he's practicing for a couple of hours to get back into shape for that tour. But what's that look like? How can you squeeze in this? What's essentially an expensive hobby for most of us. No, not a lot of people are doing death metal as their full-time job, right? What's that balance look like?
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's just it's something that I'm looking forward to, you know, and so that gets me through. Now, whether or not you have the energy to do it once you get there, that's different, and that's really where it comes personally. Your discipline, and
you gotta want it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the will to do it. You know, you got to force yourself to do it, and a lot of times it's like working out or anything. You just kind of got to get started.
Yeah.
Rolling. Sometimes it's easier, but taking those steps to do it. You know, not going home. Go to the rehearsal studio. Don't go home. You know?
Yeah. Once you getting that's a little tricky. Once you get home, you don't want to do shit.
Exactly.
Yep.
I can't go home first. I'll never. Yeah, I've done it, but you know, the chances that I'll make it to the drum set are a lot.
You don't want it. You're like, fuck this. I'm tired. But dude, like back in the days, it sucked because you pretty much had a fucking whatever job you could get. Then you go on tour, come back, and you have to look for a new job. You know what I mean? And that routine gets old.
That's probably the hardest part of it. Yeah.
You really can't play, and even more so back in the day, playing this music, you can't be out there enough to support the times you're not there. So you have to work.
Yep.
And it's a fucking, unless you have a trade or something that, you know, like whatever, if you're a plumber, you can probably get a job easily. But if you're just like a laborer, you know what I did? The only place that I could work that I never had a problem when I was doing production, I was building stages and shit like that.
Right.
Never had a problem.
Show business, yeah.
You leave and you come back and they put you back on. You know? Hey, I'm leaving on tour for whatever next. All right, call me when you get back and we'll put you back on.
Yep.
So I was pretty much the only other job or construction.
Yeah. I was always a kitchen guy. Because kitchen's always looking for somebody.
You don't always get work in the kitchen.
So for a long, long time, that was me doing that. You know what I mean? But luckily, you know, for a long time now, I've been working for the same company as a family-owned company and stuff like that. So I've got an arrangement with them, and they've been unbelievably cool to allow me to
That's awesome.
do it.
Hey, man.
Otherwise, I'd be in that same boat again, where I'm like, oh, where the fuck am I going to work when I get home?
Where do you guys live, Steve? In New York, right?
I'm in Ohio.
Oh, you're in Ohio?
Yeah, Brennan's
South Carolina.
I'm in Dallas.
Dallas.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I thought, no, I was Steven. I thought he had I thought you had relocated to New York.
You thought what?
You had relocated to New York, because I know Carol used to live in New York.
No. Mm-mm.
So it's like, didn't Carol live in New York for a while?
Didn't who?
Carolina? Your girl.
Oh, Carolina. Yeah, she's from New
Yeah.
York. Yes, sir. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
She's, oh, man.
Yeah, I met her. She was living there in 2017, I think it was. Yeah. And maybe even 2016. And she was living there, and I came back to Ohio, and we were like had a long distance relationship for like 3 hours, 3 years. And then she moved out here during the pandemic.
That's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had moved there or she had moved.
No. Yeah, ever since 2003, I've been rocking back and forth to New York City and back because the guys lived in Yonkers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so going back and forth was no big deal. Now, recently, they relocated outside of they went out to Rochester now.
Oh, shit.
Both of them live in Rochester, which is way closer.
You were doing the same thing I did when I was in Demolition Hammer, because those dudes were in Yonkers as well.
Exactly.
Miami to Yonkers.
Yep.
Yonkers.
Everything out there is up or down. Or
Yep.
nothing flat.
and Miami's all flat.
Yeah, totally different.
Yeah. This was awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, this has been great. Thanks for having us, Kyle, man.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle.
I will say for me, like I did a lot of retail and food service for a lot of years, and I got sick of being broke and went to school, and now I work an office job, so it's completely different. I have enough time off. Thankfully, I can do the festival shows and stuff like that. If I stay with the same company, after 5 years, I'll get like an extra 5 days of PTO every 5 years. So there have been people at the company who, they get ridiculous numbers of paid time off days. So if I stick with them long enough, I might be able to do like full tours of just paid time off. And
Wow.
Who knows?
Awesome.
We'll see what happens. But, yeah, we'll see.
Hey, I bet you Motley Crue never had this phone.
No, fuck no.
I should have kept the sticks, man.
What? They don't know, dude. They don't know. They don't know how hard it is to be a death metal drummer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and just to input myself here a little bit, I kind of have a nice hybrid thing because I'm a psychology professor, but you can teach anything from the lens of psychology. So I've slowly been integrating and traveling the world, studying different metal scenes through the lens of psychology. So it's fun that I can increasingly kind of do my hobby as my job too, including this sort of stuff. But are there any final thoughts from any of you? Anything that you want to mention that maybe we haven't covered, or anything you want to say to aspiring drummers that are watching this?
To aspiring drummers, look, there's 3 generations right here. Keep doing it. Become the 4th and become the other guy. So next time we do it, there's another dude on here.
Yeah.
That's younger than Brennan doing the thing.
Yeah, please keep it going, guys. Like, I know they will, but like, please keep this shit going because
you guys too, Texas, Florida, keep it going, man.
Yeah, for sure.
No quitting.
I have to. Like I said, I have to or I'll die. So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Cool.
So thank you all for your time today. I've had a blast, pun intended. But thanks so much. I'm a huge fan of all of you. Is there anything you want to plug that you've got going on? I know Immolation have a tour coming up here.
We're doing this tour, which is just like our festival dates in Europe. So we'll be all over the place doing the usual.
Are you guys doing anything in the U.S.?
Don't really have anything planned now because in November we're gonna go do South America with Testament. So that'll be cool. Wow. That's a month of that, and then when we come back from that, hopefully we'll be doing some headlining in the U.S. We're overdue for that. So
Come to Jacksonville, motherfucker.
I'll be looking for you. I will.
Yeah.
And Odious Sanction in the next couple of weeks should be finished with mixing and mastering. The guy that's doing it actually plays guitar in Unslaughter, so he's in Europe right now. So as soon as he gets back, we'll button that up, and that'll be coming out soon too.
Now that he said that, I do want to say, because I always remember him, rest in peace, Kanye.
Yep.
Kanye.
Yeah, Jim Kanye, dude.
Forever. That dude was the best, man. The nicest guy ever.
Yep.
And Alex, you've got a live album coming up?
A live album coming out early 2027, and then we're going to do, which will probably be the final Solstice shows ever. We're going to do a 2027, a couple of festivals and shit. And trying to get Rob to see, but Rob's so busy with Cannibal.
Yeah.
But we're going to try. Cool. We did one show with him in Tampa. That was awesome. He came back and we did a show. We were the first time Solstice was a 5-man band. We had 3 guitars. It was crazy.
Wow. Oh my god, that'd be badass.
But yeah, that's it. 2027 is the year. This is a year for me to get back into shape.
That's awesome. I'll start.
Wish you luck. Yeah, that's gonna be killer. And Brennan, when are we getting that new liturgy stuff?
Oh man, that's a whole thing. I actually can't really get into it. It won't be what people are expecting when it comes out. That's all I can really say.
Okay.
It'll probably be under a different name.
Okay.
With different personnel than maybe people expected. Or definitely different than people expected. But that's all I can really say about it. Yeah, there might be a thing like that. Who knows? But as far as what we got for the rest of the year, we just got Ohio Death Fest on the 31st at the end of this month, and then
I'll see you there. My band Mame's playing the pre-fest the day before, and then I'll be at Ohio Death Fest the next day.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I guess I forgot there was like a pre-fest going on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's for free.
Yeah, nice. I want to be there so bad, dude. It's like right up the road for me, but I'm going to be in Europe.
Yeah.
Enjoy that, though, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Good time. That should be
bro.
The best lineup I've seen in years for Ohio.
Dude, for real. Yeah.
That's killer.
So, thanks again, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for your
man.
time today. It was a pleasure, and keep on killing it.
Yeah, man. Much love, much respect, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Love you guys. Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
So thank you so much to the 3 of them for joining for this discussion. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some perspective into what drumming has looked like over the last few generations of brutal music. And let me know in the comments if there's other musicians you'd like to see join in a roundtable kind of discussion like this. So other than that, like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you next time. Keep it brutal.